Action. Hi guys, so finally we are back with another episode. I asked my fiance to join me today because he has some stuff that he can help me bring to the table and thoughts, and yeah. But also I've been like a little nervous about doing content lately, just kind of like, I don't know, I'm a little self-conscious right now. I just have so many ideas, so many topics that I want to talk about and share and help my autistic audience, especially, those you're barely getting into the realm of like learning more about, neurodiversity and what is it like to be ADHD and the struggles and how to get better at this, and if you're autistic, how to get better at certain things. So I decided to do adulting and autism. So I wrote some notes because I constantly get so many ideas from people that I hear like they struggle with this and they struggle with that and they can't get a job and and they're going through depression because of all these things and all these factors, and I'm constantly hearing other people kind of like trying to find excuse for like why are they putting in on mental health and and most mental health issues happen because of a person's circumstances, but also because of a person's mindset and the way they were brought up, the things that they know, the things they learn, and the things that they didn't learn. There was a time in my life where I just was so lost and I was just so depressed. Like, I don't think like I ever met somebody more depressed than me. Like, it was a very sad story. I think it got to the point like I would romanticize my depression, where I would sit down in a chair and just smoke a cigarette or multiple cigarettes for hours and just stare into the limbo and just think about how sad my life was and how my life was going nowhere. And obviously I was having problem with substance. I would call it abuse. I wouldn't abuse the substance, but I was doing drugs that would help me escape my reality. And I will be happy to share more about that aspect of my life. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments below. But today I want to talk about tips that I can give you guys that took me a while to learn myself, but I wish somebody would tell me this when I was younger and I had just no idea what to do or how to do things right. So now that I'm much more adult and I'm in a much better place, I am slowly becoming a person, the adult that I can look up to, that, 15 years ago, Francesca 15 years ago would have totally looked up to. Very proud of all the progress that I've done. I feel like I'm in a position where I can share and help and also advise people who are in a much earlier place in their journey. I'm looking at him for validation. And am I saying it right? Did I mess up? Adulting and autism, I feel, me personally, I never met somebody I've seen videos of other autistics and they seem very, very mature compared to me. Especially for their age. When I was their age, I feel like, whoa, like this is so much more like adult-like or much more mature than how I was at that time. But maybe it could be that also, some of the things that I'm going to mention right here can make your brain, be so much more smarter that it resembles maturity. It resembles, intelligence. It has a lot to do with maturity. And you only get smarter as you learn more stuff, as you get older, obviously. But some people just never mature because they're some people that get stuck in a place where like they do the same thing every day over and over again, and they never seek personal growth. They never seek learning more beyond what they already know. So yeah, you can get stuck at a place of immaturity for the rest of your life, or you can grow. For the longest time, my mom thought that I was just never going to mature, that I was just always going to be this immature, weird girl. I don't know if she probably thought about some family members that were just kind of like that. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just not always going to be this way. And now she's so like, oh, thank God you have grown so much, matured so much. I remember when I used to tell you this, and you'd be like, no, Mom, I'm never gonna need this. I don't care about this. I don't care what people think about me. Like, I will have those kinds of comments when I was younger, and now I just think so much, very, very differently. Like, I don't even know, like, that person that I was.
Did you not care what people thought, or?
I guess it was just kind of like a way of self-defense. Because I just feel like, oh my God, like everything that I do is wrong, and people are just always, you know, gonna complain that, like, why am I gonna care? Like, you just wanna be that person that people like, but you don't wanna change to be that person that they like. It'd be like, well, then I'm not gonna be myself if I change, type of thing, you know? I was not really self-aware. I was self-aware to a certain extent, but not completely. I started coming into terms where, like, I can be myself and still be a better me. Point number 1, get into the habit of doing your own chores and be proactive in the shared chores of the home you live in. For example, if you still live with your parents, you want to make sure you do as many chores as possible to take the load off of your parents, especially if you're not paying rent.
Well, there's chores that need to be done every day.
Every day.
So, you know, either somebody needs to take care of that job or kind of rotate, just make sure that things get done. Even if it's not necessarily your job, just.
But I feel that the best way to go about it, one of the things that most people struggle with their teenage kids that they have at home, I know I went through it when I lived with my parents, is that everybody's like, no, I don't want to do chores because, you know, she does more mess than me, and and every time I clean, they make a mess, and I clean, but they never clean, and it's always like that. But you know what? I feel like something that took me a while to realize is like, don't worry about the chores that other people do. Worry about this is a practice for you to become self-sufficient, self-independent. If you're living with your parents' house and you're either not paying rent or paying very little rent, like there will obviously be a lot less if you actually live on your own. Think about, okay, my parents are already kind of like sustaining all of this. The least I can do is help them out with chores, so when they get home they don't have to worry about any chores whatsoever. Why would you wanna, you know, you're much younger than your parents, have a lot more energy, and you have a lot to learn. So why would you want to still allow your mom to, you know, coming home from work and being tired and still having to, you know, vacuum floors, mop, cooking, all these stuff? I'm pretty sure most people have their parents do the cooking. So, I mean, that on its own, that should be like as much as the parents or the households holders should do. So, you know, when you practice doing chores in a household, especially you do chores for other people in the household, whether if it's for your younger siblings or whatever, not only are you preparing yourself to be a self-sufficient, responsible, more mature person or adult, because you're gonna have to do it when you live on your own. And when you live on your own, if you don't practice this ahead of time, you're gonna find yourself not doing this. And then you're gonna have a girl come over and she's gonna see that all your laundry, it's like all over the place, and your house looks dirty, and you have dirty dishes that been there for 3 days and stuff like that. And that could be a deal breaker between you and a girl or you and a guy, you know. So those little things is kind of like, it's not, plus living in that kind of scenario, living in that environment, it's not healthy for you, for anyone. Helping with chores and what needs to be done in a house, but also you are practicing being a considerate person, which is very, very important. Practicing consideration, being a considerate, accommodating person, it's gonna open so many doors for you in the future. Whether it's a job, whether you live with other roommates, whether you want to seek shelter in, you know, somebody's house or renting a room in somebody, whatever the case is, you practice being a considerate person, a person that is like, hey, I'm not only gonna wash my dish, but I'm gonna go ahead and wash your dish too, or whatever dishes are here, because what is that gonna take me? Maybe 10-15 minutes out of my time. And it's a nice thing to do for other people that are. It shows gratitude. It shows gratitude. It's literally combining the practice of being grateful and being considerate of the fact that maybe somebody invited you for dinner and you had the courtesy of washing dishes for that person. Wow, that shows. That is just, you know, it's crazy how a lot of
Like
people.
a big thank you.
It's a big thank you, and a lot of people don't practice. It's amazing how a lot of people do not practice this action. It goes a long, long way. So those kind of actions are such a good thing that you should really consider. Start doing it ASAP. ASAP. You want to start maturing, you want to start adulting, do those things. Another great important thing that you want to do is start looking for jobs as early age as possible. If you're a parent that has a kid who was diagnosed with either ADHD or autism, you definitely want to make sure, don't feel sorry for your kid. That's the worst thing you can do. That is like, oh, my kid, he's like, oh, he's just so slow, he's autistic, you know. Oh, like, why is your son doesn't have a job? He's 25 years old. Oh, it's because, you know, I did tell him that, you know, he should get a job, but he's dealing with, you know, depression, and like he's just not really good with those kinds of things. And you know, no, don't feel sorry for your kid. Don't excuse.
Don't baby them.
Don't baby them. Don't excuse the fact that the more he struggles with something, the more you should be challenged with that. Struggling with mental things, like maybe being slower or certain things than others, yeah, it makes it harder. And yes, it is true that people with autism do struggle with those kinds of things. Executive functioning, I used to have a really hard time following instructions. Oh God, like I used to have such a hard time with that. And it was just my memory and my lack of executive functioning combined with other things, you know, and me being just so oblivious half the time. When you exercise your brain and you exercise into, you know, there's no better exercise than trial and error. If you're constantly aware of your weaknesses and your flaws and everything, that alone is going to help you the next job. You're going to be a little better, real better. You're going to learn from your previous mistakes, and that was the best exercise for me when I got in so many different jobs and got fired from so many. I feel like I got fired from most of my jobs, like straight up. No lie. Don't be ashamed.
I can believe that.
Don't be ashamed if you get fired. I used to feel so ashamed. I used to feel so bad about, you know, who I was. But I'm like, I'm just this loser. I'm just a loser. I always get fired from my jobs. I just can't seem to retain a job. And like Francesca, the tardiness. You're always late. You're always at least 5 minutes late.
You just have to be late.
I just have to be late. So that's gonna be another topic. The sooner you start, what really helped me is that I started getting into, my parents wouldn't just give me things that easy, so I started getting into, you know what, I want to be able to buy my clothes and buy my stuff and have money. So I myself got into, like, I want to start working. So I asked my grandma, she had a restaurant, was like, can I help you and make money with you, So she allowed me to be a server. So I started being a server at a very young age. At 14 years old, was serving at a restaurant. Not only was I serving, but I was also prepping. Like, we would do everything. We would prep everything, cook, prepare all the food, set everything up, and take orders, and then load and then like set everything back up, put up back on the chairs. My grandma really like struggling with me, kind of, because I was like maybe not really good at just following certain instructions, but that just alone was an extra for my brain. Not only that, but I was taking piano lessons and ballet lessons, so all that was a really good muscle training for my brain to prepare me for the future. So I was helping my dad with his office and do paperwork. So a lot of things that just kind of kept me busy, and that I feel like was a really good help. Watch personal development videos every morning. That's something that Martin does. I can probably put some links. The great thing about this guy is, like, he starts talking about like a lot of prison stories, but he always guides them into this amazing message, life message that, you know, if you're not a person that is full of excuses and trying to find excuses to why you can't do this, why you can't do that, then you'll be able to listen to what he says with an open mind, because he's pretty hardcore. Personally, I hear him every morning. He listens to him, and I just love like the things that he says that just kind of reminds you, like, you know, what helped me is that when I started changing and practicing better habits, my environment and the energy and the people around me started changing towards me, and everything started changing for the better. So you can only change yourself and your practices, and, you know, also the delivery of your message. Like, sometimes I will want to say something, but I will say in a way that people will take it wrong. So I started learning how to say things in a better way that would bring my message across in a better way. That brings us to the next point, which is seek balance in your life is the most important thing. So you want to always make sure you have the right amount of balance between work, between, you know, rest, leisure time, exercise, nutrition, and relationships. So sometimes there's people that love their job, right? And they really, they really like their job so much where like all they want to do is work. But then like their personal life is just so neglected. When they get off work, they're just sad at home, they're sad with their family, they're angry, they're, you know, not in the right mindset because all their mindset is set on work. And you can't just be this person that works all the time because that should only be a part of your aspect of your life. But you can't neglect, you know, the relationships. Unless you really like being alone and always being alone, then by all means, you know. But if you do have even one friend in the entire world, you want to make sure that that relationship it's healthy. You know, if you have family, you want to make sure you have a good relationship with your kids, with your parents, with whatever people that are in your life. You want to make sure you take care of them once in a while. I work a lot. We work a lot all the time, and since we can't even afford to have like a day off in the week, because even on our day off, which is Sunday, we still want to catch up on the side project that we have, which is the brand and the YouTube and all that stuff. That's something that we have to do, and we enjoy that part of it. We enjoy kind of like being part of this project that we've been wanting to start for a long time, but we don't make it our only thing in life. We still want to make sure, okay, one weekend we're gonna work the whole weekend, and then the next weekend we're gonna take some time off. We're gonna, I don't know, hang out with the parents or do this activity or since we do snowboarding. Or go to the beach when it's summer. So we always try to kind of like plan ahead and seek just a little bit of set some time apart for leisure, because you do want to have, it's important to just seek for that little, you know, take care of that little aspect of your life where you do something else, take a break from your regular routine.
Just resting.
And also we try to take time on like our nutrition. We try to watch what we eat. Sometimes we're like hanging out, we're on vacation or whatever. We take 2-3 days off, and we hanging out with the family, and we're just kind of not really watching what we eat. But when we get back to normal life, we try to be like, okay, let's get back on track. Let's, you know, I try to cook for the next 3-4 days, so I have like a well-balanced diet, like chicken or meat with vegetables.
Yeah, I try to do some fasting to kind of reset, you know, my whole system again, just back to the level.
Back to level 2, because taking care of people really underrate how important it is to take care of your health, of your nutrition, of your eating habits. Because that right there is maybe the number one reason that can lead to mental health issues. And actually, now that I eat a lot better, I feel like that's one of the reasons why I no longer have to take medication for depression or anything. I do feel really sad sometimes, and that's or very stressed, and that's because of because my line of work is very stressful. It's a lot sometimes that I have on my plate. It really gets to me. But I'm thinking like it's not gonna be forever. It's just right now. It's temporary. But I feel like the fact that I try to, you know, exercise at least every other day and eat healthy helps a lot with, you know, regulating the chemicals in my brain, serotonin, and have the right chemical balance. When I'm eating too many sugars, when I drink, when I'm eating too many like carbs and stuff like that, I do notice that I don't feel as good. You know, that really messes up your, you know, people who have eat a lot of sugars and stuff like that. Deal a lot more with depression than those who don't. So that's why I like to.
It's also that they get a lot of anxiety too, because it's just like
sugar provokes that.
Just a lot of like pent up energy that build up, and they don't know what to do when, like, you know, or just need to go exercise and balance the hormones in your brain or whatever.
Yeah.
Chemicals.
So the next tip that I really want to give you guys, and really take this into consideration, because it's amazing how a lot of people, especially in the autistic community, they just don't really put an effort into their appearance. This may sound a little bit shallow in a way, but appearance is very important. The way you carry yourself is the way other people are going to treat you.
It's how you care for yourself.
It's how you care for yourself.
You don't care how you look. It's like, dude, what does that tell you about yourself, you know?
Exactly. And I can make a whole video just talking about why, take care of your, I should make a video about each one of these points now, why you should care for your parents. But let me just tell you that if I see, it's not about the color of your skin, it's not about how much money you have in your bank account, it's none of that. It's the fact that if I see a person that is wearing dirty clothes, that looks like he hasn't showered in like 2 weeks, and looks dirty as heck, I'm gonna probably unconsciously look down to this person, because I'm thinking like, this person does not have his shit together, because look at how he dresses, You don't care, you don't clean your shoes before leaving your house. I will see punk kids that would like kind of have the more torn up the shoes, the word, they look cool. But yeah, it's depending on where you're going and what occasion. But you show up to a job interview, you show up to a person you just met, and you show up with your most torn up shoes you have, that's gonna say something about you. So definitely caring for your parents. Nowadays there's so many ways where you can find tips on how to dress up, how to combine yourself, how to wear your jeans, how to wear your shirts, what to combine this with that. On social media, just go on outfit of the day or outfit ideas for men or for women. Skate is streetwear. Just put a hashtag streetwear. You can see a lot of different ways of you to combine your clothing. And so definitely your appearance. Make sure that you always do not leave your house without brushing your teeth. Do not leave your house without, combing your hair. Make sure that you look good before you leave your house. It's something you have to make a mental note about, a rule. If you have trouble with this kind of thing, if you have trouble, just put a note on your door. Did you remind yourself on the mirror, on the refrigerator, or on your door? Did you brush your teeth? Did you wash your face? The next point is taking care of your diet. We already talked about that. The thing that I wanted to add is that you want to make sure that you constantly try to research about diet, what's good, check the diet that you have right now and see, how does it fit on a healthy, balanced diet. I can make another video just about diet if you want me to. Don't trust anything that the food industry is selling you. Don't trust the package. Do your own research. There's no excuse for not to research your own diet nowadays, and be very conscious about your diet. And that's why most Americans are overweight or unhealthy. So just want to say that. The next point is practice learning new facts. Okay.
New skills.
So one thing that really helped me for my personal growth and just to grow up in general was to grow my mind, expand my mind. So going to college helped me a lot because it forced me to read, it helps me to research, it forced me to learn about other things. But you don't have to go to college to learn other things, but maybe even taking a few classes here and there, like if you're into business, maybe take a business class, take maybe a language class. I don't know. If taking classes helps you, by all means take a class. But that's not the only way to expand or learn, or expand your mind and learn about, work your brain, which is a muscle, Practice learning something new every day or at least every week. You can practice, you can learn about new facts. If you're into psychology, you can always learn something new about psychology. And social media, especially Instagram, is a great way of finding, learning new things. A lot of people make pages to teach about these things alone, and they make it so fun. It makes it so easy to learn about these things. Every day you learn something new. In a week, in a month, your brain is going to be slightly, you're constantly stimulating your brain with new thoughts, which really helps the growth of your processing, your ability to think faster, your ability to make stronger connections in your brain, which is what makes you mature, makes you more adult-like, pretty much. You can also learn on working on things that you struggle with. Maybe you struggle with reading, so you can research videos, be like, best practices for reading, or even do audiobooks. Audiobooks are really, really good to learn about a topic, and you don't have to sit down and literally do physically. Podcasts are really good. Every day when you go to work, put on a research podcast. Take a day to plan these new things, these new habits that you want to incorporate in your life. And within that day, you can start researching, I want to get into podcasts about health, or podcasts about film, or podcasts about, my favorite topic is neurodiversity and autism. So podcasts about that, or podcasts about, there's so many different topics that it just, psychology and stuff like that. It's the list, or business, the list just goes on and on and on. If you just, you're like, yeah, I like this, but you never research it, and all you do every day is go to work and then come home and play your videos and watch TV, you're not growing. You're not growing as a person. You're gonna be stuck in that same place forever and ever and ever. But everything takes effort. Everything takes, you gotta put into action. Take action if you really wanna change your life, change your perspective, change your, just grow and be that person that you wanna be. So the last point would be about working on your energy. Working on your energy and practice positive thinking. What energy do you project out there? What think about it. Think of yourself. What kind of energy are you putting out there into the world? Do you practice saying nice things to people on a regular basis? Any action that you do is either positive or negative. You wake up every morning and you go to work. Do you say hi to people on your way to work? Do you say hi to people at your job? Do you come to work with a positive, optimistic attitude, or you come with a negative, thinking about your problems, thinking about do you have problems at home? Stay away from people that are not in your same boat, right? Not on your same page, are not bringing anything positive. You're exactly your same frequency. Whoever you hang out with, it's who you are. Tell me who you hang out with, and I'll tell you who you are. If you hang out with a person who's constantly negative, then you're gonna become negative yourself. Unless you are such a counteractive, positive person that you can make this.
Unless they're trying to if they're not trying to uplift you, then they're not your friends. Like, you need to be around people that are gonna build you up and want to see you do better.
Yeah.
And
they look
have
up
that
to you.
energy that you're trying to get. Cause
I pretty much just focus on the energy that you want to project. And if there's factors in your life that are stopping you from, really keeping that positive energy, then you need to cut those things.
Yeah, if somebody else is projecting like a negative energy, it shouldn't bother you. Or unless if it really is like affecting your life, or
like the saying says, nobody can hurt me without my permission. You are the one that allows people to really get to you. I know it's hard, it's easier said than done, but it's true. So when you start practicing all these tips that I've given you, everything's gonna start making more and more sense, and then you alone, you're gonna start attracting the right vibe. Your vibe attracts your tribe, pretty much. Yeah. That's all for today. Please leave us any comments if you have any questions, any suggestions, want us to develop on any of these topics, and don't forget to support us by following our page, Sick for Trees. Also, we have the cleaning business, Excellence Cleaning Pros. You want to click on our website. That really helps with our SEO. And please, by all means, share this video. It really helps. Give it a thumbs up because it also helps the algorithm. And if you feel like other people can benefit from this,
share it out.
Share it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, because that really helps. It takes nothing from you. All the links and any details are gonna be on the description below. It's a wrap. Later. Till next time.
Go to work.
Sick for